So good. That's how it got me into all of the reading side of things. You're not a fan of biographies?
They're interesting. I just feel like you got to have a special kind of ego to write a book about yourself. That's all. And
yeah, there's some people in our team that does that.
You can even see it. Like, I'm watching The Last Dance, and it's fantastic. But you know, Jordan owns the footage, has like editor's rights, so obviously the story is going to be tweaked, a little biased,
yeah.
you know, and
you want it to be real and raw, right?
Yeah,
rather than...
I prefer the I can't. They're not biographies, but like not monobiography. There's like a different term for it. But when people, you know, really just get into like a little piece of their life, and you see all the dark side. I'm a big fan of people. Like at some point, as an example, Richard Campbell's going to write a hell of a book, you know, because for a while he was like homeless in New York, right? I don't want to read about some guy like, so the important part of my success was I always ate my vegetables and I went to the gym. Remember that, kids? That's boring, all right? I want to hear Rich, you know, one time I found pizza and it was fresh right on the trash can outside of 22 and 14th. That's my kind of story. Making friends, you know, sleeping inside. Yeah, you'll get to it. You guys will read the book. He'll write it. The Draft.
the Draft, yes.
Ooh.
I would have segued to that in a little bit of a different way, but nice try there. I was going to say, right, with this draft, I haven't been on any NIP games. I think I've done one NIP game maybe in total. So how has their drafting been going? Because these results have been impressive and shocked a lot of us.
I think the easiest answer is for people saying it's just the fact that Saberlight is having a pretty good showing in terms of his offlane role. I think of heroes like Bounty Hunter is one of the most standout ones. I think it's probably the easiest one that we could mention. But overall, I think it's more just that team play, honestly, is very strong.
And I will say that's the matchup to me that's going to matter most, which is the offlaners, Zai and Saberlight. Zai is incredible. One of the most versatile players like ever in Dota. Saberlight is solid, but he's very one-dimensional right now. And when he plays like non-playmakers, he just looks lost a lot of the time. And they're going to open up with the Oracle Troll, one of the better combinations, but this is something Secret's seen many times before. It's very common, or it used to be a couple of months ago in like that top echelon of teams. And I'm kind of shocked that they open up with it here, especially when you consider that hero. Isn't that exactly real fast? Didn't they do this to Alliance, and then Alliance went second pick Death Prophet?
Correct, yes, and it was first pick of Phoenix into Oracle Troll, and then DP.
So in this case, it's just a Rubik, not a Phoenix. So I hope, NIP, you have literally found yourself in nearly the same situation. You better have an answer to Death Prophet. You've had 3 days.
5 seconds
I'll be very disappointed if they don't address the Death Prophet, because I saw them not do that twice against Alliance and then lose.
Yeah, you don't want to fall for the same tricks, right? If you've been able to watch, you've been able to learn from it, you should be having a good idea of what's going to come next.
Dude, speaking of, do you know that like until you're like when you're a baby, until you're like 2 years old, the reason Peekaboo is effective is because you don't have an understanding that things you can't see still exist.
Yes.
So when you play Peekaboo with a kid, right, they're actually terrified, and that's why they're so shocked. It's like, oh my God, he's here. Oh, where did he go? It's real.
It works on kittens as well.
But I just feel like, isn't that terrifying?
I'm just like, where did that come from? I'm like thinking of a joke.
I don't know.
I have kittens at the moment. My cat had kittens, and like, the Peekaboo thing worked.
Why was that relevant? Why did I say that?
Exactly. I
don't remember. There was a segue in my mind to that.
I just rolled with it, Carl. You know, sometimes I'll just allow you to talk, and it seemed interesting. Why not?
No, it was pretty interesting, but I just don't know how you got there, bro.
Want to know the reason why it's working.
Yeah.
Sure.
Go figure.
We've really had an interesting start to this day, haven't we? We've not even really far got into it. We're only just doing the initial.
Do you know why though? Because this series, winner or loser, everyone knows watching, it's about Nigma. If Nigma lose today, see ya, goodbye. We know our top 4. So everyone's like, we want to watch Nigma if they can actually claw it back.
It is true, because these two teams are effectively a winner guarantees they're through, whereas the loser is going to watch with bated breath, because there is a chance they'd be forced into a tiebreaker with Nigma if Alliance were to falter. But I believe NIP, their other match is against Alliance. Secrets is against Nigma.
NIP play OG.
Oh, yeah, NIP play OG. Who does Secret play Nigma?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So Secret, you're in a decent spot. Like, you know that if you lose this, you have a must-win upcoming.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes.
Bated breath.
We've got so many exciting games. It's crazy. These next few days are going to be wild. Just before we get the playoffs as well.
I'm kind of looking forward to playoffs more so, but you know.
5 seconds left.
The thing is, I like this moment where it's still the unknown, right? Sometimes we have when we get towards playoff stages, we see those moments where, oh yeah, okay, it's easy, we know who's going to be there. Now we're still in the, ooh, could be them, could be them.
I'm just curious to see if CIS can stand up to Europe.
Yeah,
right now. That's my thing.
That's my main fear. I think just Hellraisers has the potential, because I think their draft's up there. They've had some inconsistencies, but yeah, it's just the potential disparity that we're going to see from the two regions.
I just have a feeling if Virtus Pro do end up making it, which obviously if you're a Virtus Pro fan, fingers crossed they do, I think they'll be a completely different team when they hit playoffs. Like something will swap inside them.
Yeah.
Because this group stage has just been wild at times, but it's like we'll see the real test of strength when we get into our playoffs.
Yeah, the slower one for sure. Just about this draft, the Phoenix is nice because it's a vessel carrier against the against the DP, but
they're just going for like a solid draft, right? They're going to have potentially Mars Phoenix, the Oracle Troll. Like these are fundamental drafting components, sorry, that NiP have used in the past, and now they get all of them in one game. So
my concern is both supports are super susceptible to silence and Death Prophet. If you have like this nice game where you're able to play and sort of engage first in a team fight, you just sort of force them out. And Troll doesn't really ever go toe-to-toe with Death Prophet either, unless you get your like third, fourth item. I love the Ogre pickup.
I love the rise of this hero, honestly.
Yeah. It's just strong, and it just makes your heroes better. We already see like this is a great DP game. If you're Bloodlust buffed, this is why Troll can't really touch you, because you effectively just run away from him and drain him. However, Oracle against Ogre is quite nice because you can always just purge off the Bloodlust. Wow.
We definitely need to get Kyle some more coffee today, don't we?
Peekaboo! No, but it's more, I like the Ogre is the fact that you see the Phoenix, right? And then potentially the Mars comes in too. So Ogre naturally lanes pretty well against these heroes. The Ignite does a lot of work. So I think it's for Secret, it's just you don't have to show anything, right? It's a strong lane.
Ignite is the W, right? You didn't even skill Ignite on Ogre. You just go max W QE. That's what I've seen, at least from Secret when they did in the past.
Sure. I'm
sure it might change up, but it's the concept is that Bloodlust doesn't, or multicast doesn't really affect Ignite too much.
So level 1, you have 2 Ignites, pretty much. So I think there's always value in having that Ignite, especially for the runes, and then you can move away from it.
For 1 point, you mean?
Yeah, 1 point. Yeah, one point.
I can see it. The thing is, like, the reason I think the stun E build's so good is because since they're all multicastable, you get off like a double or triple level 3, level 4 Bloodlust, and you're only like level 7. That's pretty significant. And the stun becomes like 480 damage.
Yeah,
which is pretty sick.
It's what? It's like 70% for multicast anyway. So
it's like a 2.5 second stun, and it's just like, oh my god, this is a level like 7 Ogre who's got no farm, but he just did 500 damage, and it's like an 8-second cooldown. Anyway.
Radiant's turn to pick.
What was that? Okay. You know, tempo, pressure, but still nothing. I'm just afraid that they're going to get Death Profited again. Like, this is a better answer in a sense that you have now a ton of raw damage. Like, these two supports don't really do anything to Beastmaster, and the tempo plus team fight is always a nice combination. We have this Troll, this Necro or HOD on the Beastmaster, and then a Phoenix behind them with an Aura. Like, you can't really kill these cores, and they can play way more aggressive because they have these super strong supports behind them.
It's very much a laning phase though, right now for NiP. Like, the Beastmaster can fare as well against Ogre, sorry. It's a hero that naturally doesn't really care too much about the Ogre. You have your boars there, Phoenix plays behind the boars. Like, NiP have very much doubled down on the fact that they're going to have strong lanes and then hopefully not give Secret that early advantage to then move behind the TP. And the fact that NiP has last pick, Supreme as a mid laner, we've seen him pop off multiple times on these big clutch picks. So, for example, TA, he's even had a couple, like a Tinker game, for example. I'm not expecting Tinker, for example. But the idea that give this man last pick, he might be able to open up your game, especially if your side lanes are solid enough to not collapse early on.
So it could be a real difference maker depending on what they see come out here.
Yeah, my fear though for NiP is the fact that they are so focused on laning phase, which means like their ability to push out lanes right now is kind of underwhelming. Sure, they can take objectives nicely, but it's just a little bit clunky on how they can actually move around the map. Again, primarily due to that wave clear.
Yeah, and the Monkey is a really interesting pick. So really good synergy with Ogre, because the hero is one of those that likes to be that you want an advantage. And it's like this concept of heroes that in an even game are somewhat mediocre, but when they're like, it's like Timbersaw in concept, where if you're that item or status ahead for whatever reason, you just can't die, you apply threat, you sort of dominate a lane by showing up in it. However, Troll can kind of eat you alive. So it's important that this Monkey has a really nice game. really good synergy with the Death Prophet too. You drop the ring, you go push towers. You can't really fight into this lineup anymore.
I would say that's like, I think the main reason for this pick is, one, it's a comfort pick, and also the fact that Nip, they don't really have a lot of stuns, so you don't have saves on Secret. So you need a way to enable this DP, make her feel safe when you move around the map. So you drop down the Wukongs, DP sits on the objective. Like, there's no way you should be able to jump into this these big spells.
What do you think Secret's likely to go for?
Okay, no, that's a nice ban actually from Nip, the Baden ban. If they pick up some offlaner Baden here, they pretty much have no stuns in their game. They have nothing.
I'm starting to feel like this might be an offlane Death Prophet, and I think it's you keep the monkey open. I could see them going for a Matumba Man hero here. It's a really nice illusion hero game. You could just go for like a PL perhaps. It's kind of up to you how you want to draft, and I like how Secret sort of set this lineup up where you have the ability to do whatever you want. For all we know, it could be like an ogre off lane. You could take anything from a puppy hero to a mid to an off carry, it's whatever you want.
Casual Kunka here as well does a lot of work for Secret.
Yep, I would not mind that at all. It makes their team fight just overwhelming.
Yeah, and then, like, you don't really have enough damage right now. If you have that boat buff, it's like, yeah, like your damage pretty much is reliant on physical damage coming out of Beast and Troll. Phoenix will kind of fall off, and Oracle. So yeah, I think Kunka's really nice.
Pugna's banned, right? Because that would have been another option. I mean, that's the beauty of Secret, and with their biggest strength is the versatility. They do go for
classic Centaur v Phoenix. Like, this is now the biggest punishing factor that you can have, is the fact that you have no stuns and there's a Centaur. Of course, you can always argue, oh, but there's the Oracle v Centaur and laning phase. That does not matter. The laning phase is whatever. It's that mid game. The fact that your engage is so focused around Raw that if you don't get that Raw from the critical hero, the fight is so hard for Nip to really take.
Yeah. This is a good matchup, though, for the Quap. You love laning against Monkey. Although, now that you pick it, it's likely going to just be Death Prophet mid, which is a relatively even matchup. Certainly a little Quap favored. You have a base damage advantage. You can play
some more region. You still get your levels. You're not pushed out the lane. Like, I prefer Secrets. I feel like they're pretty slow pushing out their lane, so it's not going to be like that clean, where's our information coming from? It's going to be, we have to push our lanes first, group for the smoke, then make the play, we miss our Raw, or we don't get, like, it's just going well.
The way is, Secret will never have to, you'll have plenty in the bag to still look for kills. A lift, a blink stun, monkey bouncing, and then they can disengage with the center ult. They can pop DP ults if they really want to take a fight. Same with the Monkey King ult. Whereas to get anything going for Nip, they've got to use some of their tools already off the bat. A roar, quap blinking, like it just requires a lot more risk to actually make moves. I think Secret, if they can keep the game even, just naturally are going to eke out an advantage because they're not reliant on these big spells. And really, I just feel like they're the better team.
Okay, so you guys seem to be on the Secret train. Is that the way you're going?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Secret this game.
Secret first game for both Kyle and T-Gov here. Now our commentators are ready, and let's test this out. Peekaboo, Suns fan, Cinderin, can you hear me?
Hello?
There we go.
Hello?
They're here. Jeez. How's it going, guys?
You scared the shit out of me with the peekaboo. Holy crap.
Well, I can't see you. I'm trying to have some fun with it. You know, Kyle, he's educated us here about... So I thought I'd have some fun.
I mean, that was probably the best segue of all time, by the way, when Kyle originally brought that up. I have no idea what entered it felt like basically every one of my casts, so I can definitely relate with that. Cinder, what do you think of this these two drafts? Hi.
Oh.
That sounded like that is rated R material, Cinder, and what the hell?
We started off with a wild day.
We do it different in Denmark with peekaboo. It's a different thing here.
Oh god. Oh god.
Jesus.
Okay, so I think both teams have really solid drafts and they have stuff that plays to their own strengths, right? The thing that concerns me a little bit with NIP's draft is that for the most part, this is stuff that we have seen for quite a long time. So I think Secret should be very well prepared for this kind of strategy. NIP have a good win rate. So they're playing their heroes, but they're not bringing anything surprising to the table. Whereas Secret here, they're grabbing like an Ogre, which is not a very popular hero right now. I would say Centaur is not unpopular, but I think the way, like the order that they drafted it in is a bit unusual. And then, yeah, apart from that, I guess not too many surprises there either, just very meta stuff. The Ogre is the one that really stands out to me. I'm curious to see what Puppy's planning with this one in this game.
Oh, you like Secret's draft because it's less predictable.
I like both drafts. I think they're very clear plans, but like going into this series, my thought was Secret will have caught up with the meta a bit, and I think NIP have had a bit of a head start in this tournament from, you know, having more games under their belt recently, having more practice, and really having understood what to do right now. I still hold Secret in super high regard, even though currently they're on a lower standing in the group than NIP. So they will be my favorites for this game, just based on that.
Well, Yapsor gets to play his patented Rubik, one of his. Is that his favorite hero? It's one of them, I know.
Yeah, it definitely is one.
He has played a lot of Rubik, and the only other person, this might surprise you, that I mean, obviously there's the Chinese scene that have a lot of great Rubik players in terms of historically speaking, and I'm sure Kyle will love this, but his brother is one of the best Rubiks, Z-Freak, that I've ever seen.
Sure.
Very, very good on that hero.
I think the top three in most people's minds is probably Yapsor, FY, and Kuroki in no particular order. But Kuro doesn't really play 4 anymore, but his Rubik was also very... And GH, I guess, has to be mentioned too. Those 4,
That's
I guess.
true. You can probably add like 10 more people, honestly. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of Rubik.
Very good, for sure. Mid lane, Cinder, we have Nisha on the Death Prophet versus Supreme's Queen of Pain. Been seeing a lot of Queen of Pain lately, with kind of mixed results. How does this laning stage kind of progress here?
I think this lane is pretty even, maybe slightly DP favored. In the early stages, it should be DP favored just because of raw base damage. Like DP has 8 more damage than Quap. And you see Nisha putting that to good use right now, getting a lot of free hits in while Quap is farming on the tower. Just pushing that a bit faster as well. Obviously, one thing that Queen doesn't do very well in the start in the mid lane that a lot of heroes can't really take advantage of is she doesn't push the wave, right? You don't get high level and Scream of Pain very early on. So a hero like DP can push you into your tower and then start harassing you in said tower to get an advantage on gold, which is what Nisha did just then. Most melee heroes don't have this luxury, because even if they have a pushing ability, Quap just zones them out effectively if they try too hard to get creeps. But in this matchup, it's a good lane for DP. Pretty sure about that.
Okay. And top lane is Troll and Oracle versus Centaur and Rubik. I'm assuming Troll will be able to farm relatively well here. The question is, will they ever be able to kill Zai? Is that when Yapsor starts to rotate away, perhaps they'll have their opportunity? Like, how's the kill potential with an Oracle Troll?
Level 3 is pretty strong. Give a lot of damage from the Oracle. Troll gets level 2 Whirling Axes, perhaps, or he gets Fervor, whichever one he prefers, and they go to town. And Centaur, usually what's dangerous about this hero in the laning stage for the other team is his ability to, you know, at any point in time just take pop retaliate and fight back way stronger than you expect sometimes, but Oracle can purge it. So there's no real play for Centaur in this lane.
Is there an animation or particle effect at all for Retaliate when you pop it? Do you know?
It makes a sound and then you start glowing red on your... I don't remember exactly what
that red.
You'll see it now.
Lane.
You see it now.
I see telekinesis.
You see it's like this orange glow.
That's it.
It's pretty clear. Like, look at it.
Barely noticeable.
Very visible.
Barely noticeable. That needs to get buffed immediately, please. Would really appreciate that. Nisha forcing out Supreme.
Nice heads-up play from Secret there, by the way. Now that we were talking about it, they identified that Oracle walked over to stack the camp, so they take immediate advantage of that to use Retaliate, because they know they won't have many options to do it. So the moment anything presents itself, you go for that. So done.
Yep, that's a good point. Bot lane is the one that we have not covered as of yet. Puppy's going to be playing the Ogre Magi that you brought up earlier with Matumba Man's Monkey King versus Era's Phoenix and Saberlight's Beastmaster. I'm assuming Beastmaster can transition to semi-jungle, which is kind of happening here, disrupting the waves a bit.
Yeah.
But from a Tumbaman's perspective, how easy is the farm in this lane?
It's not that easy, but Ogre is a really good wall. Oh, Saberlight's in trouble here.
He's going to get pounced on. Puppy does not have Fire Blast, no mana to speak of, but the Boundless Strike is there. And Matumba Man's Jingu Mastery does proc, so ends up taking that for himself.
Similar to the top lane there, Secret identify an opening because Phoenix Fire Spirits are on cooldown, and once they're on cooldown, the hero does nothing to Monkey King, so he can very easily run down there. If Phoenix has Fire Spirits there, Matumbaman actually dies, but then they obviously don't go for the play at all.
Oh, top lane. Zai just happens upon a random courier, gets the kill, so not great in terms of microing that bad boy for Nip, but no kills will come as a result.
Overall, about the bottom lane though, this is a really good Phoenix game, I think. Like, there's Bloodlust to give some attack speed, but none of the Radiant heroes really want to hit the egg in this game. So,
do you think,
if Phoenix
with that in mind, do you think Matumbaman goes for something like Echo Saber to try to counteract that?
I think their overall plan is just to impede out of it. Like, their approach is, all right, Phoenix got picked later. We didn't really have a solution. Our approach is going to be, we have the Centaur that we pick into Troll, and we know it's not the greatest matchup with Troll Oracle, but the pros outweigh the cons. I think that's one of those situations with Secret is like, what's the big deal in this game? What's the overall plan? How do NIP win fights? And sometimes you can pick a lane that isn't ideal as long as it's playable, because the payoff later is just way too good, right? Stampede is an amazing spell this game. It counters everything else than Roar. You just get away from everybody, so it's really solid.
Well, technically it could counteract Roar if you get Aghanim Scepter, at least the damage portion from what's to follow.
Absolutely. Could happen later.
So Supreme in the mid lane, 23-11 versus the 18-5 on Nisha, so doing quite well in that department. About a half level lead right now. And
got 6 first as well.
Quap is able to kind of go into the jungle a bit, but what about Death Prophet? What are her options if she needs to find some side farm? Is it really even worth it to go in the jungle?
Like the small side camp in mid is very easy to farm with Cryptswarm, right? I think there's definitely something to be said about that.
Top lane, Zai getting initiated on, gets the hoof stomp off. Looks like the Whirling Axes will not hit, and he's able to walk away with only 150 HP. I believe he is going phase boots right now, if he did buy the boots in base. So going for the...
Nisha needs to be careful mid.
Oh, all right, we have the Shadow Strike applied. I believe a Fairy Fire was popped. Supreme, blink, not up for 5 seconds, going to get off the Stream of Pain. No mana to speak of as Nisha is just life leeching him away. This is going to be really close. The Shadow Strike continuing to tick him down as Supreme finally with that last blink, able to get the last right click, and has now won this lane.
That is a really good kill. It was with the full creep wave running into the enemy tower. So he's now level 7.5 against level 6. This is a really big Quap win, and like I said, I don't think this is how this lane goes on paper. Just Nisha didn't really respect the fact that Supreme hit level 6 there. He took a lot of damage in the middle of the river and then just got run down with Sonic Wave. So nicely done from Supreme here to identify that. And no TP support either from Secret. Like, you could have probably done something there if you really wanted to.
Supreme did have to walk all the way back to base, didn't have any mana to blink and make it a little bit faster, so he did lose some creeps, but obviously
still well worth it.
Yeah, sure. We'll TP back
now. Showing up with double null and bottle, minute 7. And stick. He has a lot of good stuff right now, a lot of value.
So looking at the carries farm right now, 42 and 17 on the Troll Warlord versus the 41 and 8 on Matumbaman's Monkey King. Very, very even in that department. And then in terms of the offlane heroes, 29 and 2 on Centaur versus the 25 and 5 Beastmaster. So really, I think both respective safe lanes are kind of a wash to some degree, I would say. Would you agree? And then mid lane is Quap favored right now.
I'm pretty impressed that Matsu has the same farm as Charlie here. I don't think this is that good of a Monkey King lane. Like, the Beastmaster Phoenix matchup is not great, but Puppy has done some serious like grunt work just standing in front all the time.
Speaking of grunt work, Ogre Magi has come to the mid lane, Cinderin, but not able to get off a Fire Blast. It is quite low range right now.
That is
okay. It links into 3 enemy heroes and it's just gonna get chopped down now. Pops the Fairy Fire, another Scream of Pain, but not even remotely close to a kill.
So greedy. Like, even if
calculation,
even if he kills Nisha, I don't know if he didn't know Rubik was there. That might have been a surprise. Maybe it was like, what? Didn't Rubik show before though? I think he did. He already fate bolted.
I thought
right?
so. Yeah.
I think he saw all 3 heroes, and then he just that was not actually even that close to a kill on Nisha. And now he kind of brought him back into the game. It's a little bit of a expensive slip up there.
His Sonic Wave had 10 seconds left. Is it like how often do pro players not realize that something's on cooldown? I mean, it happens to everybody.
It does happen. It's true. Like maybe that's.
It looked like he had a Sonic Wave set up. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a big one. Then you look, it's 10 seconds cooldown still. But I don't know.
It's possible.
He does TP top after respawning now. Sonic Wave is up, like we said. He's gonna apply it to Zai most likely. There we go, and we'll get a freebie as a result. Yaps are able to get out to safety though, so it does find a kill at the end of the day. I mean, he won mid, but then kind of fed away the lead to a degree. He is still with a level advantage over Nisha, and also the farm advantage by like 500 net worth. So
yeah,
it's not like he threw the game by any means.
No, absolutely not. But Nisha will gladly take, you know, any sort of comeback you give him. Like when you consider how far ahead Quap was just 2 minutes ago, all of a sudden now they're tied on experience. Quap had a full level earlier on him.
Yeah.
And yeah, the goal, it's right, but Nisha's not outside of range of anything meaningful here. Time for bounty runes and outposts. Era will grab the bot one. And they can't stop Puppy from taking it back.
They have an absolute
just clapping there.
Very unfortunate. Nisha looks like he's going to take some heavy damage. The dive was there from Era. He's going to turn this around with the balance strike from Matumba, man. Great timing. And they find 2 kills as a result. Nisha, if I was his teammate, I would definitely deny him there just for fun, but they'll let him go back to base.
That was so good, actually. That was like, it's one of those blink of an eye moments where you see the moment of opportunity. It's there for 1 second. Like Matsu gets the double stun and they pop exorcism. They need to do it right away. Just full on trust in each other and just make that play instantly. Awesome read on the situation that they could get away with that. And yeah, it's an exorcism. You would have loved to push tower, but it's still really good to get 2 kills.
Oh, that hoof stomp. Damn, that was really good timing. I don't know if that's commonplace from pro players, but that was nice. Don't think he was any threat of actually dying. Did heavy amount of damage as I did to the tier 1 tower. Ended up using that retaliate, knowing that Oracle is nowhere near. Oracle just about to hit level 6, so we'll have the false promise to work with. It's going to smoke beforehand, though. What if you got passive XP Syndrome? What a great mechanic that could be.
Yeah.
Very close. How much XP is he need? Can you check? Oh, it's 4 experience. He wants it so that feels the worst, you know?
Yeah. It's really
so close yet so far. Like somebody just kill a creep, please. How good is False Promise this game? Obviously, we've seen a lot of that action with the Troll Warlord. Is that the main use throughout the entire game? You get the extra lifesteal when he's applied in his ultimate. Queen of Pain can jump in.
It's definitely a classic pairing with Troll, right? Just because it's kind of like having an Aegis if you get it off well. But there's other benefits, like we talked about, the Fortune 10 against Centaur, which they didn't pick it into Centaur, right? I'm remembering the drafts in the correct order right now. As Era is super dead top. Yeah, not the best Fate's Edict game. Like disarming Monkey King can be really good sometimes, but if you have lower level on it, the cast range really puts you in a very dangerous position to use this on the enemy carry. So I would say for the most part, False Promising the Troll, purging off Retaliate are his biggest perks right now. And of course you can purge off Monkey King stacks too. Let's not forget that. That's also really good.
True. Saberlight did take the tier 1 tower bottom. Echo Saber was purchased by Matumbo Man, and he's going for Deso now. How does Aghanim's Scepter work against Egg? You know if they attack it?
I would assume they don't, because it's not your hero. Right? That's a really good question, though.
Fire Blast on the Saberlight Stampede use as well. They're going to find an easy one.
I think they play by the same rules as your ulti. And your ulti doesn't hit the egg.
Can creeps hit the egg for like a certain amount?
No.
Because they work against Tombstone, or at least they used to. Did they change that?
They can't attack the egg at all.
Okay. It's interesting. Well, maybe we'll see the mechanic, just to be sure. Nietzsche still working on his first item. Has the phase boost, of course, going for the Yule Scepter, and his counterpart, the Supreme Quap, is also going for a Yule. So obviously against that silence can be pretty powerful. There was a smoke. Saberlight and Suneko, they want to use this roar. And they're going to need somebody like Supreme to actually do damage.
Wow. You'd think they'd give the talent to Troll and he'd start farming Ancients like that, but maybe he doesn't need it, or they did it with Beastmaster or whatever. But
it looks like they're heading towards top. They'll need a Hawk to be able to see Matumba Man here, unless he shows himself. Maybe Air will bait.
If he randomly dove here.
Oh, the axes. Oh, they're gonna see him with the Hawk, but Matumba Man's way too fast. So Smoke Gank ended up being wasted, it looks like.
Guys,
And you're right, yeah. Supreme with the Iron Talon is interesting. Is semi-jungling right now, because we're gonna have TP support back here. How early can Troll take Roche these days?
I mean, I think technically Morbid Mask plus 1 hero should be fine. Since he doesn't bash anymore, it's a lot harder than he used to be. But if you have, say, Oracle with him, he could... I mean, he could maybe even... I don't think he could do it now, but Morbid Mask plus Oracle could do it.
I'm asking a lot of mechanic questions. I have another one. Is Battle Trance sound global? I can't remember.
Yes, I think so. But it's not if the hero is in Fog, if that's what you mean. You don't know if he used it on Roche.
No, that's what I mean. Like, Dismember is global.
Yeah, I think that's unique, actually.
Okay.
It's the only thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Good to know. Thanks for keeping me up to date, Cinder. Really appreciate that. If you have any questions about Valorant, just let me know. I know you're still waiting to get into that beta. Charlie on the Troll Warlord is going for the Battle Fury. We've seen a lot of variation. Battle Fury or Maelstrom, I think, are the only two, right? To begin the game as Monkey King taking off his perch here. There's a telekinesis onto the Queen of Pain, but the false promise will keep him alive for a little bit longer. Matumba Man looks to be super dead. A Sonic Wave will actually ensure that. Not sure if it was 100% stolen. Sonic Wave was stolen. Yapsor with a 3-man Sonic Wave. It was green. It was delicious. It was beautiful. 2 for 1 right now. The multicast onto the Troll. He's going to pop that ult. They don't have false promise or anything like that to keep him alive any longer, so he will fall shortly after. And it looks like Nip is now on the run. It's a 2 for 2. And then that'll break things up.
That's great for an IP. They got the opening kill on Matumba Man, who was the top net worth hero in the game. Showed up, so he got the top tower. This was basically a 4v5 fight that they won by getting a drop. That was weird phrasing, but they killed 2 cores. They lost the support and a core for it, and they got a tower. Very nicely done. Yeah.
Oh, Queen of Pain just getting harassed over and over. Just came back to the mid lane as Phoenix Era. Looks like he's gonna drop first here. And multicast again onto Supreme. He can't really fight right now. Saberlight used his roar, but to no avail. Will die shortly after. He took the roar.
No, I just love finding this out when I'm casting as Rubik. It's just, it brings back memories. PKS is like no one else with Fateful. It's like actually unbelievable. There's nobody in the world that kill steals more with this spell than Yapsor does with Fateful. It's just you just need to get used to it if you're playing with him, I think. It's like these are the terms of service for you to pick me this hero that wins you games. I want kills with Fateful. Like, what are you gonna do about it?
I mean, he's got Arcane Boots and he's working on Aether Lens. Not super far away, so...
And like you said, he stole Roar, which is the bigger play there. That gives them a really good opportunity to... the ideal fight that they could maybe find now is where they wait for Exorcism to come up, and then they use this Roar that NIP might not be aware is stolen currently, to try to find a smoke game where they open an Oracle. If Oracle dies, this Roar is... it's just a kill button, basically. None of the other heroes will survive a Roar plus combo. Or he could Roar the Oracle to begin the fight, and then there's no save. So really, really good steal this game.
There are some good steals in general. We've seen the False Promise. We've seen the Sonic Wave. Actually, no, we haven't seen the False Promise as of yet. But 3 really good ultimates to steal. How easy is Egg? I feel like that's a difficult one, right?
It's really hard to steal. Now, it's basically, is it impossible? It is impossible.
If you have the talent, right?
It is actually impossible regardless. Phoenix's AoE on the explosion of Supernova is so big that for Rubik to press you with Spell Steal, he will have time to press Fire Spirits when it ends, right?
Right.
It's just Phoenix just needs to instantly press Fire Spirits after Supernova, and it never gets done.
Right. Yeah. Into Hoof Stomp, into death.
Now they could smoke a Roar play if they wanted to. Don't think they have a smoke though.
Well, Matumba Man is invisible. He's a 1-man smoke. They could try to set up on Supreme. He's thinking about the ultimate. This would be actually going for it. The Balance Strike is there. Onto the Roar. That was the TP from Yapsor. Great synergy here. Great communication. I mean, tier 1 team. They only have the 1K network lead right now, and Nip is definitely doing a good job this game overall.
It's relatively even. The slightly concerning thing for NIP's lineup is Queen of Pain has 3 deaths in 19, and we know historically that this hero does not fare well with dying compared to a lot of other heroes. Very much relies on that tempo.
They're going for Roche, but I was going to mention, of the games that we've cast, I know it's a small sample size, but Quap has been quite underwhelming as a hero. I don't know how I feel right now.
It's been pretty good in the patch, though, I would say. Like, we've not been spoiled with the best Quap performances, I would agree with that. But the hero itself is actually in a pretty good spot right now. So I don't think the hero itself is a bad pick, not at all.
So user error, in other words. Aegis is now on Charlie. Has the Treads Battle Fury ready to go. So able to take the Roche in the midst. We're going to see another roar onto Nisha now. So that is a quick on the Death Prophet. That means Secret needs to get the hell out. Tier 1 tower will likely fall now. Telekinesis onto Charlie into the Fire Blast. He might actually get it. The Aegis is already consumed. The egg is down. Can they kill it? The Echo Saber going to work. They're going to be able to get the Phoenix. Balance Strike onto 2. Sonic Wave, I just heard it. Not sure how many heroes it actually hit, though. It's a 2-for-1. Looks like they will find Matumba.
I'm sorry.
And a tier 1 tower. So overall, a good fight for Nip.
Very nice. Getting the opening kill is really what matters here. Secret don't have a save, so if you jump with Roar onto a core, that core dies. And yeah, the egg, maybe not the best there from Era. Perhaps they could have gotten an even better outcome there, but at the very least, he made Monkey King stay to kill the egg, and that got them a monkey kill. So probably good in the end, actually, for him to put that egg there. The downside, obviously, Aegis gone on Charlie, maybe overextended a little bit to start. They did get Oracle 2 off. It effectively makes the fight kind of 3 for 2, right? Because that second life on Troll is really important. And they do hold the top. He's getting big, though. Charlie's very farmed.
Yeah, working towards his SNY. And we've kind of talked about the build variations past the Battle Fury. SNY for status resistance, of course, is a huge help against this team with the silence and all the stuns and whatnot. So we're going to see a Stampede by Zai just to get out of that top lane. What would you expect after the SNY? We've seen Satanic, Basher. Do those sound reasonable?
I think he might go Abyssal this game after SNY, before Satanic, just so he can jump on top of that Monkey King and ruin his fight. Or the DP. Whoever the Roar target is, being able to follow up, chain, connect, or go on a secondary in the meantime could be really, really useful.
So
I don't like if he goes Satanic, I think. I feel like that's it's a bit too defensive considering he already has an Oracle covering him, right? Like, I'd rather see them put the pressure through his itemization.
Yeah. So we're going to see a smoke here from Secret. As Nisha is leading the charge. Oh, this is a good pick. To Charlie. Exorcism into the Fire Blast multicast. Mega dead. Zai with the random stomp onto trees. Just making sure everyone knows he hates trees, which means he's going to be playing Timbersaw next game, most likely, as they find the Oracle as well.
Very, very good smoke. They knew Charlie's movement trajectory after he killed that bottom area. They have really good wards down there, so they knew he was walking top left. And the silence from Nisha clipping on the Oracle there and Troll prevents both of their saves from going out. So very nicely done.
Zai missing the stomp there as Matumba Man comes in. Roar is used just to get out, so defensive use overall. Yapstor very sad he couldn't steal, although he does have Sonic Wave, so he's still in like basically every ult in the game right now. What would you rather have, Sonic Wave or Roar? I assume Roar.
I think I'd rather have Sonic Wave right now, probably. Just because the Roar does have a counter in the Oracle, and Sonic Wave is insane damage on the Ruben. It is so strong. It's gonna be put to use here, maybe.
I mean, we talked about his farm, and well, we have to talk about that in just a moment. Supreme with the Shadow Strike, another multicast onto the Troll Warlord, who's already at half health. Duneko in the back though, so he is safe with a false promise. Supreme jumps in onto Zai. Don't think they're gonna be able to get any kills here. I think they want to force the issue. Roar is down. You know, Saberlight posturing here.
And Yapsor keeps poking Charlie because he just wants Charlie to drop slightly below half, and then he can blast him with the Sonic Wave out of nowhere. But Charlie's regen here really strong. Beastmaster's mech, they have the Vlad's Oracle save, tons of healing on their side.
Yeah, Yapsor not only has the Aether Lens, it's actually close to a Blink Dagger. I'm sure Ag or something after the fact. Another multicap from Puppy. It's unfortunate he's not using the Arcana. I'm sure he'd be leveling up that gem real fast with as many multicasts as he's getting this game. Maybe next.
Only works in pub games sometimes, but you're probably joking. Yeah,
of course.
Why am I even pointing that out? You know everything
I'm
about
a cosmetic god.
Nothing about Dota.
How dare you? I'm Cinder and S and Y being built by Charlie, like I said. Okay. Oh, I wanted to bring this up. Obviously, I agree that Basher is probably the right choice here into Satanic, but there is a world where Scotty at some point is really good at this game against the likes of DP. They have,
and Monkey
they're
King,
building
true.
the Spirit Vessel right now, yeah, and against the Jingu as well for Monkey King. But Scotty with that negative health regeneration, or Amplify, I should say, has some use. I mean, Scotty's it's a solid item. Just I don't know when you can fit it in. It's like 5th item or something. Game's probably over by then.
Yeah, that's still the problem that Scotty has as an item, right? It's like when does it feel right in your build? It's like very select heroes that want it for the stats. Like a hero like Medusa might start considering it a bit more again, perhaps, because you know it's so much health for that hero.
Dire is scanning for enemies.
But then you're playing Medusa, which nobody's playing right now. So
Yeah.
not really seeing it much.
Right now, Charlie has Satanic queued up, so he's going to disagree with you wholeheartedly
Yeah,
and just go for that extra stats resist.
I get it, like you're playing against a lot of stuns and maybe you don't want to have to rely on your Oracle, but I think it could backfire in the sense that you might start running into a wall where when Monkey King has a BKB and DP has a BKB, and you have a Centaur on your team that's almost got a pipe, that you might run into damage trouble. Like, Queen of Pain is notorious for not scaling insanely into this later portion of the mid game. It's like, it's a very strong early mid game hero, and it's a very strong late game hero. This span right now where Quap's damage isn't that dangerous for a while, especially when you have BKB, so it's only the Sonic that you're worried about. If Troll can't step up and get the kills, Phoenix will have the same problem, right? You're hitting this weak point when these BKBs come out, and nobody's going to be able to compensate. But maybe if he weathers the storm, this Satanic could make for a big fight where he tanks stuns, stays alive barely, gets ulti off, and maybe they swing it. Gonna have to win some.
Well, Era, this is interesting. Well, we might have to hold that thought as Charlie takes an invisibility room. But Nisha and company know this. Still forcing the issue though. Multicast again onto the Beastmaster. Puppy gets a nice firelight up. Nisha, he's gonna get Exorcism off. Sonic Wave to follow. Yules to keep the DP alive a little bit longer. Will attempt to kill this. The roar just in time as Era stuns the entirety of Team Secret, it feels like. Nisha's going to be the second fall. Both cores are dead. And with this, Nip should be able to help clean up. A nice stomp here from Zai, but it looks to be his death as well. Very beautiful fight from Nip. Is able to find the 3 cores.
Oh my, that could not have been any more perfect from the Beastmaster. Era had 1 HP on the egg, and Mantu was about to hit it. He saw Beastmaster coming over, so he actually tried to Boundless Strike to buy himself the time to get the final hit in. But as he lifts the staff, he gets stunned by Beast, they get the egg. Really, really nice from an IP. They're playing some really good fights this game.
Yeah, for sure. And the scary thing is if they win a fight, in terms of Team Secret's perspective, they can take towers ridiculously fast with the combination of Beastmaster Troll.
Really, really
They're going to
good
get that without an issue. Of course, Roshan is not up yet, so they'll just have to farm the jungle a bit. Of course, the death timers are a little bit low right now, so you can't really get much more regardless. But the thing I wanted to talk about, Cinderin, well, you can go first. I'll let you go first, please.
I was going to say something I feel like from watching how Secret play teamfights, something I would like to see a bit more from them was I'd like Ogre to frontline a little bit more. I know he's going to die, but Puppy only has 1 death on Ogre right now, and it's... If he can somehow find a way to just run in, and after he casts the Fireball, actually start tanking, it might...
War Sonic Wave combination, but Beastmaster is dead. Supreme will have to blink out to safety. Silence onto Era. No way to dispel that, but is in the tree line here. Using Fogboard to his advantage and will live. But,
what is happening in these fights is that Secret initiate, they got a 2-man stomp and they got a good Fire Blast off. And then NIP kind of just go on the course, and I think maybe if Ogre is a little bit, it's hard to say, like maybe they can just ignore him regardless, and it doesn't matter, right? But showing a bit more presence and maybe being willing to tank up a bit more damage for his team could perhaps bait better conditions for the DP and the Monkey King in the coming fight. But that said, though, NIP is doing a really good job at focus firing, right?
Knowing that Roaring Sonic Waver down means that this is a free Roche. So, great recognition from Secret. I'm sure if Nip could take it back, they would use neither of those spells, since it didn't result in anything. So that is going to be an Aegis for your Monkey King. And Cheese,
yeah, it's something you wanted to talk about like 1 minute ago, when you let me go first.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about
cosmetics.
Era. Well, I always want to talk about cosmetics, but Era's build. Obviously, Spirit Vessel, very normal, and then the Philosopher's Stone, the dream for any Phoenix player.
Super good on Phoenix.
Like the days of the gold talent that he used to have, which everybody would take, and the Hand of Midas, actually. But it's actually going Ag's second item. I'm not sure if I've seen this. Usually it's like a Shiva's or something to that respect if you get enough farm. What do you think of Ags? I love the item, don't get me wrong.
It has been getting more popular lately, especially when the Ags let you use Sunray during the Egg, but that got changed into a level 20 talent. So it definitely got nerfed in that respect. But I think what he's identifying here is that the way Secret are going to take fights is that they will engage on one target, and they're going to have to commit pretty hard on that target while they keep Oracle away. So if you get a secondary save so that Oracle is not the only way to initiate the fight and guarantee kills, you make the initiation for the Radiant team like 3 times harder. Because now they don't need to only account for the Oracle and get him down, just get a position. There's always going to be this secondary save that, like we talked about pre-game, they don't really have good ways of killing the egg, right? Like, it's actually really difficult. So when he gets level 18 in Supernova with Axe, it feels like an almost guaranteed save to me in many fights. So it will be really good in this game.
Which begs the question of the Satanic again, back to that top gun, Charlie. He's just about to finish it here with that Claymore. So they're going to have, in essence, 3 saves for Charlie if you want to count the Satanic, or even his ult is another form of save, I suppose.
Yep.
Is it too much, though?
Yeah,
How where's the damage right now?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, I mean, you saw the fight mid. They still had the damage, but it's getting a lot harder. DP now has a plate mill and a craggy coach, so she just got 22 armor since the last fight that she didn't have before. And that is, for this dire lineup, when she's BKB, there's only one guy dealing damage. It's the troll. Right. I mean, Beastmaster, negligible. There's a little bit of a Sonic Wave, but nothing that will kill a DP. So I think I'm a bit concerned once again for the damage aspect here. Puppy getting?
I think Puppy is literally multicast every Fire Blast I've seen this game, by the way. Except for the ones pretty high. 6.
75%, man. Like,
wait, what level is he?
He's level 14, but level 1 is already 75%.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's been buffed a lot over the
75%.
years.
It's been literally like 10 in a row. Very lucky. Just say it with me. Very lucky.
Very lucky.
Thank you. Matumba Man does have his 10-second BKB now, so to go along with his Paladin sword, actually picked up.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that just happened for Secret to be in a really good spot in this game. It looked very, very nice for NIP where they got that big fight, but the immediate follow-up smoke from Secret, they got them kill top into Roche, then getting 2 BKBs, 2 tier 3 items that are really good for their lineup. They're so much stronger than they were before. I think for NIP, there's a lot of pressure on, I would say, mainly the Beastmaster and the Phoenix, actually, in their lineup innately doesn't have very much lockdown, so the Roar has to land on a key target at the right time, and you need an egg to come off. I don't think you're favored in fights unless these 2 things do happen consistently. The egg could technically get broken, and you can win the fight if it's a good one.
Warlord, and that's good. Smart. Here comes the Wukong's command onto 2 heroes. Oracle doesn't have that Ghost Scepter, but he's going to die shortly after. Supreme blinks out to safety, and it looks like Secret are going to focus onto Saberlight's Beastmaster. Gets off the Roar, but dies shortly after. So another wasted one in the grand scheme of things. And it was stolen again by Yapsor, who is working towards that Aghanim Scepter. So a nice pick off here for Secret. They still have Cheese, they still have Aegis. I'm not sure how much longer that's going to last, actually. Only maybe another minute, maybe? Minute or 2. But either way, they're looking pretty good. I mean, this opens it up for them to, like, they don't even have to go for these kills necessarily. They're pretty close to some big items. The Shiva's only a recipe away, essentially, for Nisha. That's a huge one. And Zaya Halberd. And about 1,000 gold.
Power is falling.
They take the tier 2.
So how long does Halberd last on troll now? So like,
I'm gonna say 4 seconds.
it's way less. He has a lot of status resistance.
Oh, with status resistance.
So it's 3 seconds on melee targets minus... It's not very long. I actually don't even know how good Halberd is this game now. The troll has SNY Satanic. You
Use it on co-op, bro.
Huh?
Use it on co-op.
Co-op, yeah. I think he might have been better off getting something else, but it can still come in clutch, right? Even 2 seconds or a second and a half in Dota makes all the difference sometimes. But you've got to consider that, you know,
Charlie, he's gonna run into 3 heroes, gets the whirling axes off. Saberlight jumps in. Looks like they're gonna focus on the Cumberman who pops his BKBs in a 1v2 battle right now. Beautiful. Sonic Wave is actually stolen from Supreme, and they're gonna focus on the Matumba Man again. And 80 seconds of no Monkey King as he was just left to his own devices. And Secret just bolts.
A couple of nice plays there. The roar from Yapso are really good, but the save from Soneko just as good. Beastmaster was super low, gets saved, turns around and roars Matsu himself, and then they take that fight knowing that there's no exorcism. That's why they wanted to play so aggressive there. And this is a big moment. You have 1 minute without the enemy top net worth hero. You definitely get something
Spirit
done.
Vessel is applied. Something does miss though. Trying to purge that off is Soneko. And here comes the Satanic, healing Charlie up to full HP. So they want to continue here. They want to force out the buyback that does not exist. Ult actually used by Troll. Forced into the enemy base now. It's an interesting.
Very good.
Yeah, didn't really do a whole lot. They've only done 500 damage to this tower.
Seeing the limitation of not having stuns there, right? Like, the enemy position 1 is down, but you don't have roar, so every time Troll tries to do something offensive, they just lift and toss him away, or Yule him, or stun him with Ogre. I thought they would be able to do a little bit more in that tower, but good defense from Secret to not really give Troll a moment to breathe and hit it. Just all the time harassing him with spells, slowing him down, and no one kings up. So they will back out. That's still a nice sequence from an IP, right? They got, I think, did they get all 4 bounties this time? They got 4 runes, a monkey kill, and access to mid. Not bad.
I think they only gained 1k net worth in that time, surprisingly. I believe they were up 1k at that time, but either way, they still technically have the lead, but it's a very close game. I think a lot of this is going to come down to the next Roche fight, which will drop either the the Aghanim Scepter or Refresher Shard. Let's hope it's an Aghanim Scepter, because that's the best one.
Like you pointed out with Centaur, he's now going for the Aghanims that you said could be good this game. I agree with that. And I do feel like now that you see the game play out a bit, I don't know if this Halberd is enough value compared to... He could have gone Eggs, could have gone Vlad's for his team, maybe. Really good this game, but maybe Ogre will get that. He will, so that's fine. But yeah, Aghanims
it gives him status resist evade. Like, what about the rest of the stats? The evasion?
Sure.
Still not worth to some degree?
I mean, it's definitely not a bad item by any means, but I don't think you really buy Halberd unless the active is good or you're a Huskar, right? Those are the 2 reasons. I don't think it's enough value for what it costs if the Halberd active doesn't feel very good. And like I said before, it can be good, right? If you get the perfect timing on the Troll, if you get it right before he pops ult, or during a key moment where this 1.5 seconds or whatever disarm it's going to be makes the difference, then it's good. I'm just looking at alternatives, right? Like what else from his team could be good? Because I think every other itemization that I see here, I like all of the other items they've bought. It's like the only one that I'm questioning a little bit if it's the best.
Yapsor finished the Aghanim Scepter just now. He's really itching to use Sonic Wave because it's about to run out. As Charlie's going to be spotted. It looks like Secret will get out to safety. BKB now finished. Actually, he's had it, I guess. Supreme at the 9-second BKB. Almost done with his Shivas. About 70 gold for finishing that. But I do want to talk about these neutral items. We're just going to have to wait for this fight, most likely. Smoke by Secret, with some men leading the way. They know the general vicinity that Nip is in. Puppy's going to break, gets off the ward. See claimed and clear. He did not multicast. 75%. He did not multicast, ladies and gentlemen. It happened.
Supreme.
Looks on Austin Supreme. He's going to get caught off guard again. A Sonic Wave finishes him off. And with that, will Nip try to back? No, they're going to continue on as the buyback is here. From the Queen of Pain, false promise on Charlie. Maybe a little bit and Sableye getting completely focused inside the Monkey King ult. Egg did go all the way through the animation, so stuns the entirety of Team Secret, but Era's just going to fall very shortly after. And I believe that was the Beastmaster ult again being stolen and used on his own team. Charlie looks to be donezo. 4-4-0 as Secret. Sorry, 5-0 with the buyback from Quam.
That was such a huge outplay the way they set that up. So Puppey drops the ward. They see the troll, but they're obviously not going to commit on him because he's way too protected and hard to kill. They just start poking, and this poke makes NIP start to move into the area, and then they still do a full wraparound with the rest of the team, finding Quap in the river, making quick way for just this little bit of out of position play from Supreme ends up giving them a 5-0 fight. Like if Quap doesn't get caught like this fight doesn't really happen on these terms, but they're so quick to make this decision and get the kill. That was
Wait, who gets Matama Man or Zai?
Matsu.
Who do you think should get this Zai? It goes to Matama Man. I think you can make a case for either, because Zai's going to have a harder time farming this game.
Yeah,
And
but
I
Zai
think
wants to buy it, and Matsu doesn't, right? I think.
Yeah.
So that might be what's guiding them.
All right, pay attention to the Ag's egg, Cinder, okay? Will the monkeys attack the egg? You're 90 sure? What percentage would you say you are? Oh, that's a good idea.
4.
That should help.
4% sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very confident. For Cinderin, that's very confident. Stampede cooldown talent taken. -20, so I believe it's 50 seconds now. Oh wait, they nerfed that a long time. It's 90 to 70. God damn. What happened to my centaur? Jesus. Filth. Well, Abyssal finished on Monkey King. So Matumba has a 5k net worth lead over everybody in the game and is looking very strong. Even as a tree, he looks menacing. I mean, that haste rune and bloodlust effect.
Poking Charlie while they jump the back line.
Yeah, Beastmaster still has the roar. Supreme looks like he's going to help finish off Puppey here, but there's a jump in. Sonic Wave is used by Supreme with the BKB activated. Nisha gets off Exorcism. Troll's going to pop his ult and stay alive, but for how long is the question? Matama Man gets the Wukong's command off. There's the false promise from Charlie. Onto Charlie, I should say, is Matama Man will lose the Aegis. See if Control Warp will be able to live any longer here. He gets popped after the false promise ends. Does have buyback, but this Exorcism being up for a decent amount of duration now. Sarneko is deleted off the map. Troll Warlord buys back in the game, but there's the patented multicast from Puppey. Charlie getting some heals. Post stomp in from Zai. Looks like they'll be able to get another kill here as Matama Man getting quite low. He's gonna get healed a little bit. Looks like he might go down to that dot. We'll see that the Phoenix Egg is basically impossible to kill at this point. Matama Man did live as a result of the heals coming out.
He stole it on Yaps.
He stole Egg! He did it!
Got it.
Basically impossible, he says. Basically.
Maybe with Lens and
Yeah. I was gonna say.
really quick. I don't.
Well,
That's a
Zai
full
died,
heal.
but the balance strike deletes the buyback on the Oracle. Looks like Era is next, and this could be the beginning and end of game 1. Although DP gets roared, they will find a very important kill, so Secret might have to back now. The Zapsor TP's out to safety, leaves Matama Man, who just wants to man fight his way to base. BKB TPs. So I don't know how many fights that was, but I believe Nip had a 1k net worth lead, Cinderin, about 2 minutes ago. And that's a 16k swing here.
It's been a really, really big last 5 minutes for Secret, for sure. Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around exactly, like, okay, so what's Rubik's cast range on spell steal? When he has Ag's Lens, he might actually be able to steal it. That might be what is needed. If you can outrange the Egg Explosion with those 2 items, that's why he got it. Because I was looking at Era, and I think he instantly pressed... Oh, he's dead.
Oh my.
Basically instantly pressed Fire Spirits when he came out of Egg, and Yapsor still got it. So that means he has to be able to stand at a range and grab it. So it has to be this exact item combination that gets it.
Wait, does
Learn something this game.
Phoenix Egg stun instantly, or is it like a wave? Like from
It's
far
instant.
distance? So all of it is instant.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he just has to have the range then. Easy peasy. Yapsor for the win. And he still has, I mean, he has another egg coming up.
So the egg radius is 1300. And what's Rubik's cast range on spell steal with eggs? Unfortunately, you can't see that in the game, but that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes you just can't see it.
Sometimes.
I'm trying to figure out how impressive this play is. Like if Yapsor needs to be within like 50 range or 200.
All right, how about this? You don't watch any more of this game. You just pay attention to Yapsor and his dealing of spells, okay? The problem is he has egg already, so I don't think he's going to try to steal that unless completely necessary. He could get 2 eggs off in one fight, I suppose.
Where's Dyer's bottom tower?
So Matama Man has that extra slot. Looks like Satanic will be the choice, but I assume we'll try to save for buyback just in case. Still looking very, very, very strong right now. Zai is not going for Ags anymore. He's like, I didn't get the one free from Roche. Okay, I'm not buying it then. I only take 3 items.
Oh, fuck you
Like
guys.
Havoc, kind of I want to say a bit of an underwhelming item, but obviously the heroes that it's good on would be strength. Those that gain a lot of strength, and Centaur is certainly one.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I wonder if it clears an entire wave.
How much is it?
Maybe not yet.
1 times strength. That's no, it's not enough. But it's a lot of damage though. Still, it's like 400.
Bang, the Abyssal Blade off. He's trying to kill the Beastmaster. The egg is trying. In the meantime, Sonic pushes him back. The double egg now is actually going to go off, but the green egg is coming for you, Nick. Says Yapsor. See what else he steals. Looks like the Beastmaster does end up falling. Supreme has to blink out to safety. The buyback onto the Beastmaster, of course, his roar is down, and looks like Secret wants to retreat with that buyback.
That was really nicely done from NIP regardless. They get the egg off as the save, and then the Sonic Wave pushes the enemy team away. They actually were in line to get that egg there. They have enough attack damage in it, or attack speed rather, now with the Monkey King Bloodlust this late into the game and 2 other heroes hitting. But very nice save there coming in from Supreme.
Yeah.
Still not enough though.
That one was kind of in their face, right? That feels like if it's off to the side, it's going to be much more difficult.
Oh, for sure. Then they're never getting it. But you kind of need to get it in their faces at this point. Like we talked about, NIP are struggling with damage issues, so they need everything they can get. Quap has built almost purely defensive items. Troll has built largely defensive items. Just not enough oomph, I think, in this game.
Did you say oomph?
Oomph.
Oomph.
Dyer is scared for
Okay,
enemies.
gotcha.
I said oomph, but you know, whatever you like.
Depends on your region of choice, I suppose. You know how they pronounce that. Beautiful, beautiful.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Charlie is working towards a BKB now. So, just, I don't know. Not saying it's the wrong choice, but it just feels like overkill on defensive items.
Yeah.
Like the Basher is nice.
It does.
Doesn't finish the Abyssal, but it's not like Basher gives, it's only 25 damage. What would you have gone in this case?
In this slot?
Yeah.
I don't know. At this point, it almost feels like he has to, but it's a problem that if you go SNY Satanic and then you need BKB after, it wasn't the right route or something.
Maybe SNY wasn't the right choice then, right?
I think that was okay.
Well, it's more if you're gonna go Satanic anyway. That's status resist.
Yeah, I think SNY was fine, and then I think the Satanic should have probably been another item, and then he could have got Satanic. That's my opinion here. Like they had a good timing in the game with damage, where they could have maybe taken a good fight with more damage from Troll, and then he could get Satanic later, and then BKB 6th item, like when the disables become overwhelming even for your status resistance build.
Right.
But
Nisha picks up arguably the best tier 4 item, Spell Prism. 20% CDR, so his exorcism is 87 seconds now. Also has the Octarine, which helps in conjunction. It's multiplicative now, so it's not quite as OP as it used to be, but still quite good. Tier 2 tower, Charlie's going to claim it for himself, but they're going to have to TP back here shortly, I assume, as Nip will just start walking into their base. Mathama with that Aghanim Scepter, ready to go. They're going to force the fort. And Roshan is up. So this is the Ags Refresher Shard Roche. I believe that Centaur may be getting his Ags here.
Oh, Quabilu.
Centaur ult. Yeah, they used it, and Completely wasted.
They were like, oh, Supreme is there again. Tech team spawned in the river.
They believed it. They believed
It was
it.
very believable.
Yeah, I don't think they can go for this without picking at least one off. Especially with Phoenix. I think Phoenix with that egg can position itself really easily to just never be able to get killed. Charlie, looks like they're going for it. Will this be the troll ag game? Well, we've always wanted to see. Probably Supreme will take it if they're able to finish it off.
Yeah, I think so. Give it to Quam.
But the other ags on the team are actually kind of garbage. Beastmaster's accents. Oh, Sonic Wave is used as a zoning mechanism. So Refresher Shard and Ags on the Queen of Pain, and Charlie, of course, takes the Aegis.
Really nice from NIP to identify that they can go for this, and Secret will be hesitant to fight there without their Stampede. I'm honestly surprised they didn't try. I think Secret had a good shot in that fight with just their item advantage. I think that was probably good enough if they could get in, but maybe they felt hesitant without smoke.
Not that it was the wrong move, but it should be noted that Supreme used that Sonic Wave before he picked up the Ag Scepter, so it's still going to be on cooldown here. The fight breaks out, Matumba Man jumps in onto the Beastmaster, a huge boundless strike with a false promise. Will keep Saberlight alive, be able to TP out, or blink TP. Roar used on the Queen of Pain, and he actually stole Blink. He's going to have a double Blink on Yapsor, his favorite combination. And Queen of Pain finds her way to the grave, but
looking for
does have buyback.
So they got Shadow Blade, so maybe he can get away here. Yeah, Yap didn't find him.
That's interesting. Why Shadow Blade and not well, he had the amulet for a while.
Yeah, I think he's like, my job in this game is to get an ulti off. So whatever gives me the longest freedom in the fight to not get discovered is the best item, right? I like Shadow Blade here. I think it's good. Like, usually you would go Glimmer, but
normally you don't see Shadow Blade and Ghost Set on the same inventory slot, but today you do. Charlie opts the ult to stay alive, of course still has his Satanic, and Seneko, no false promise for 30 seconds as Matumba Man getting destroyed, and nobody's able to help him. And with that, Nip just continues on. Charlie beat the living crap out of him. And they're going to try to force some buybacks now. But, well, then again, Queen of Pain is dead. Does not want to buy back.
yeah, you're probably not going to get more out of that than what you just did. But at the very least, you defended your base. You didn't lose either the Aegis or the Refresher. Who had the cheese? I still on Beastmaster. They actually have all 3 items still on the Dire, and I think Radiant have none. They've used all. Yeah. So still NIP. I mean, it's not. They're not in a good position, but it's the item advantage that they have from that Roche still intact. They have a really good shot in the next fight. Imagine they get off 2 eggs, for example. Yep. And one of them saves. That's a really good fight. I think Secret needs to be a little bit careful now.
That is value.
To drop the ball.
All right, I don't want to backseat here too much, Syndrome. I think giving the Aghanims to Monkey King was a mistake. I think the Centaur one would have been way better so far in these fights. Potentially.
Well, I thought he was going to buy it himself, right? And then he changed his mind. Considering he ended up not buying it, I'm kind of with you. He might have wanted to give it to the side.
He does almost have enough to build it, but he's going for AC now. He finished the Lotus Orb, which is super value, of course. Maybe just banking on that Roshan. I feel like if you're banking on the Roshan, it's probably it's a little ambitious at times, depending on how the game's going. I mean, they do have the 16k net worth lead. It doesn't feel like it though. It feels like with those item advantages, like you said, that don't get entered into the net worth at all, could make a huge swing here.
They need to find the fight though. That's the challenge. They have 2 minutes left of their Aegis. They could, but then they lose their Aegis, right? I think Secret will be happy to wait out the Aegis and then try to fight into Cheese Refresher instead of, you know, NIP forcing them to. Because in my opinion, NIP would actually be able to start looking at high ground here. When you have 2 lives on Troll, you have 2 eggs that both save and an Oracle ult. You're not, like, your conditions are not going to be better than this until the next push. Even if you on Secret like 2,000 gold, I don't think it's enough.
Oh, wait, Charlie. Gonna get gone on here to start the fight. Boundless Strike misses.
Whoops.
Look at Rubik. So Yapsor not only has the Arcane Supremacy, but a Timeless Relic. I mean, what a dream.
His roar lasted, I think, 7 seconds earlier on the quad.
7?
Something like that.
Good.
Like, no
God.
joke. Like, roar is 4 seconds stun duration, right? Then you have Arcane Supremacy for another 40%. and then you have another 25%. So 65% on top of 4. That's almost 7. So
I know that
6.5.
telekinesis talent at 25 was the right choice, but imagine the 40% spell amp in conjunction with both of those other things we mentioned. And he steals Sonic away.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Puppy.
It's gonna be found out here. The roar
tanky.
is there.
He stole
Not
Axis.
steal it this time. Yep, Axe is unfortunate, but it is the Aghanim's Axes that he's at full effect as Troll Warlord. The Aegis intact inside the Wukong's command. It's a level 25 talent one. And Zai getting beat down as the egg will break here. Not break, but hatch. I guess that's the right way to talk about it. Centaur buys back into the game as it looks like Ogre Magi. Puppy will have to die and buy back. They still want to fight. Nietzsche pops the Shibas. Still has his BKB. It's the 7-second one. And this is balance drag onto 2. Hook stop to follow. There's the stolen egg again. Are you serious? And they're going to finally kill the Nip egg. They do have buybacks in full. As Beastmaster will be the 4th to fall. Now, what else can they get here? They need to force out the buybacks, but then they'll have to retreat. And Aegis, or I should say the Roten is not quite up yet. Looks like Supreme wants to take out the waves here to prevent as much damage as possible.
They do have a wave mid though, so these buybacks have to come out. Secret can end the game too quickly.
Fortification. Pop is sitting on 8k gold, by the way. I don't think he's going to have time to go shopping either. There's the roar. The Summer Man. He's going to stay safe for now, but a Sonic Wave completely decimates him. Charlie's going to use his Abyssal Blade on top of the Death Prophet. Pops the BKB finally. There's the Stampede. And it looks like Supreme is going to continue on here. Shadow Strike was slow. And Charlie is going to attempt to beat down Nisha. The Lotus Orb is applied, and the Combat Man did buy back into the game, by the way. Going to be showing here. He gets off his ult, but the Death Prophet is going to die. We'll buy back into the game. Exorcism is still up. Abyssal Blade onto the Beastmaster. He's going to eat his cheese. He's going to attempt to get out, but he's going to get bashed inside that Wukong's command. So Momentum Man will claim him. That is a dieback Beastmaster. False Promise applied to Charlie, but there's not a whole lot these supports can do at this point. Linking in is Supreme with a 9,000 gold. Unfortunately, that gold does not apply to your damage in any way, shape, or form. Charlie, finally the False Promise ends, and he dies shortly after. 120 seconds on the deck. Looks like Nip will be falling here and taking the first loss of his SMU series. But well fought. I still can't get over how much gold Supreme is sitting on.
Yeah.
GGs are called. Ay, ay, ay. Whew.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have made a difference if he could have had another S-tier item in that slot. It looks like he wanted to get Octarine. I don't think that's the difference maker. We're a little bit short. Man, that was a really good game. I think both teams playing awesome team fights, making really good decisions. NIP getting the Roshans that they did really extended the game, which was great shot calling.